Welcome back, guys, to another episode of FAMcast. This is episode 27. I'm Trevor, and I've got two of my fam co-hosts today. I've got Trey and Tim.
Heyo.
It is I.
And a couple days ago, a couple days ago still, we saw The Last Jedi, episode 8 in theaters. And there's been quite a bit of a controversy over it, surprisingly.
There shouldn't be.
We left the theater really happy with it. I think it was kind of overwhelming. I don't think anyone in our party didn't care for it. And granted, everyone always finds things like, maybe this could have been better, or that part was a little weird. But overall, I mean, me personally, I gave it like a 9 out of 10. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah. I guess forewarning to those, is this a spoiler-free podcast, or are there definitely going to be spoilers in this?
No spoilers,
Spoilers for sure.
Spoilers for sure. Okay, I just wanted to make sure. Yeah, so spoilers for The Last Jedi if you haven't seen it, just kind of as a heads up. Easily 9 out of 10 for me. Easily. There was so much that happened that, we'll get into the meat and potatoes of it. Yeah, easily.
No, I'll give it an 8. For reasons we'll talk about. But
so overall, because this is the Empire Strikes Back of this last trilogy, the latest trilogy here. So I know a lot of people went into it with these big expectations, these fan theories that they're like, oh yeah, I can't wait to see this happen, or can't wait to see this confirmed. And the biggest thing that I've seen is that people are pissed because their fan theories weren't true, or they thought this was going to happen and it didn't. And I really appreciate Rian Johnson for that, for taking Star Wars in a direction that people didn't see coming.
Right.
For making a Star Wars movie that felt a lot different from the rest of the saga. Overall, I thought it was really well done. It felt different. It didn't feel like just another Empire Strikes Back. And I had a lot of fun with it.
Right. No, I agree 100%. And I think that's one of the best things about this episode was it didn't feel like Empire Strikes Back, right?
Right.
Like,
no,
that,
not at
like
all.
A lot of people thought that the 7th one felt just like A New Hope, right? Like they felt like, oh, it was the kind of same thing, reincarnated,
Yeah.
blah, 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 blah. And Last Jedi felt like its own movie entirely, which was, in my opinion, the best thing about it. I mean, there's a lot of things that happened in this movie that a lot of people were not happy about because, again, like you said, it didn't go with what they wanted to see. And to me, that's how I'd rather have a movie. I'd rather go into a movie theater with some expectation of what I'd want to see.
Sure.
And if it doesn't, and I'm still surprised, like, oh, didn't see that coming. Whoa! Like, that's the stuff to me that makes me enjoy a movie. Wow!
For sure.
Like, I don't know how many times we look back and forth at each other like, oh my god, did that just happen?
Right.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, there were so many times that we were just like blown away. Like you could just not only like when we looked at each other, but you could just like feel it in the audience.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
You could feel like everyone was feeling the exact same way. I even checked my the heart rate on my Apple Watch when we got home, and you can see for those like 3 hours it's just like spiked. Like by I think it was at like 120 or something like that.
Damn, dude.
Like it was pretty awesome. Definitely kept us on our toes for sure. So I'm not saying people cannot dislike this movie. I'm not saying that by any means, but I just don't think it's right to criticize a movie because it didn't fit your fan theories or your expectations for it.
Right.
Or maybe not expectations. We'll just stick with fan theories. It didn't fit those fan theories for you. Because I've seen so many people, even people I know, saying that like, oh, this ruined the whole saga. Like it just ruined Star Wars for me.
Yeah, I don't understand that.
Yeah, it just blows me away. Like, oh, Rian Johnson needs to step away from Star Wars.
Right, he ruined
get him
everything.
out of it.
Dude.
Right, like that is just so crazy to me. Just because
It's childish.
Well, especially since with Force Awakens, people got mad because they didn't take enough risks. And then they took a lot of risks this time. If you're like, oh, they took too many risks. Oh, just give me Star Wars again. You can't make anyone happy.
So there's two complaints that I hear that just piss me off every time I hear them. Like, it takes everything out of me not to just type angrily on my phone at them because I know it's just going to result in just nothingness, right? Because it always results in nothingness.
Right.
But there's two complaints I always hear. One, lightsaber battles. I want epic lightsaber battles and blah blah blah. There wasn't, I hear that all the time. And then the other one is, where are they going to take this? There's no direction for this movie now. There's I don't understand where they can go with this movie now.
What?
And I'm sitting there like, if you don't understand where this movie's going to go, we completely watched two different movies. There's a
Right.
100% path as to where this is going to go. And if it doesn't go that path, that's even better, because then they still then touche to them. But there's a path that they clearly have set. And just nah.
Yeah, I would agree with you on that one. I hear a lot of like the same, like, oh, like the lightsaber battles weren't that great, and then like the some of the character development wasn't all that great either. But I'm like, are you, like, what? We must have watched like completely different movies here, because
Right.
I mean, what I saw was pretty damn good.
They went and watched the
Or the
Phantom
bootleg,
Right.
or something like that.
So yeah, let's kind of go let's go item by item here.
Okay.
So I think one of the ones, like, because I've definitely seen the ones that you mentioned. Well, I take it back. Let's start with that then. So let's talk about the lightsaber complaint, because I've seen that as well, to where people are like, oh, there wasn't an epic lightsaber fight. Okay, so when you watched A New Hope for the first time, were you
Blown away?
Blown away by Kenobi versus Vader?
Dude,
Like,
that was the best. What are you talking about?
Granted, I'm sure at the time it was pretty intense. Don't get me wrong.
Like that
But, like,
fight had a meaning to it. I get that, but again,
For sure. I'm not taking away from that by any means, because it's a great scene. But the fact that you need some sort of like some lightsaber fight in every movie to make it a Star Wars movie,
Right.
that just doesn't make sense.
story doesn't matter, Trevor. Lightsabers or nothing.
Right, exactly. It's like the whole video game complaint, like, oh, the graphics aren't good, so I'm not going to play this. It's the same kind of thing. Like, what about the actual story that they're trying to tell?
Right.
Because they had some great lightsaber interaction with the duel in Snoke's throne room.
Yeah.
Not really a duel, but the team up with Rey and Kylo when they're fighting the Praetorian Guards, I believe they're called.
You're right.
That was awesome.
Which was
So
amazing.
I thought that was really cool. And even though it wasn't technically a lightsaber fight, the scene with Kylo and Luke,
Dude,
I thought that was really fucking cool.
that was God. That scene touched me. In so many
Right.
different
And I
ways.
won't get into it too much, because I'm sure.
It was all right.
Wow.
All right.
Just like I was hoping for a lightsaber fight between those two, and it just turned
but
into
that's
him
the best part.
walking
is
up
Luke,
and nothing
it's
happening. You know?
Luke just outsmarted the hell out of him. Like,
Yeah,
he-
I was like, I appreciated that
mean,
part of it, but like he turned on his lightsaber, and then like nothing happened. Like it was
But
just
so I guess do we go into detail about that scene? Because I kind of want to ask questions about it, but like, I don't know. Should we do it? Should we not, Trevor? I'll let you.
That's fine. Go for it. I'll
Alright.
move on to. Yeah.
So let's talk about that scene right now. We'll just hit the big one. So that scene to me represented a lot. First of all, it represented that Luke throughout the whole movie was very much Luke. He wasn't some epic super god thing, that
Yeah.
blah 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 blah, right? But the best part about that scene was he completely outsmarted Kylo, and he so if you think about it, there's no way Luke was going to get there, right, in person. This just wasn't going to happen. He didn't have a way to do that to begin with, right? So he got in such, I mean, I don't know how in tune with the Force you have to be able to not only broadcast yourself to one person, but to everybody. Like everybody,
Right.
you're in everybody's mind at that point in that area. Everybody can see you. That is power.
it's a lot,
Right?
for sure.
That is power, and he used that completely to his advantage to get what his main thing was to get done, which was to be a distraction, while everybody else escaped.
Yeah.
And he
Right.
did it in the most fashionable way. He came out of that freaking shootout and just dusted off his shoulder. I was just
Right.
like, this guy.
Yeah.
It was just, and he dodged because he knew he had to dodge. Because he couldn't, because he wasn't physically
He did.
like
Right.
I loved everything about that scene.
So there were, because I love that scene too, and I think we talked about this a little bit when we left the theater. So when he walks, even before he walks out there, when he walks out of the shadows and talks to Leia, I'm like, okay, this is it's kind of strange. Like he kind of looks younger.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So I was like, okay, well maybe it's the lighting, or maybe it's like
cleaned up
CGI or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, like maybe he cleaned up before he came here or something. I don't know. I'm like, okay, whatever. I'm so into the movie, like I'm not looking into it at this point. But then he oh shit, what was the other thing I mentioned, Tim? I have another
his
in mind.
clothes, because his clothes were definitely fresh. You're talking about that scene in particular, right? So I know you talked about his
There was something
age.
else to where maybe maybe it's the fact
blue
that
lightsaber?
they never. Oh, that's what it was.
That's
Thank
it.
you.
The colored, yeah, the colored.
Yeah,
lightsaber,
it was the lightsaber. I'm like, wait, didn't Rey and Kylo like bust that thing?
Yeah.
Like, there's no way it's back together. I was like, okay, well maybe I just didn't see it right or something. Whatever. Again, I'm just looking past it. And then one other thing that my friend told me about that I didn't even catch, he didn't leave footprints in the salt. Whereas they make it really obvious. Yeah, I completely overlooked that. So when Kylo like turns his foot, he leaves like that red mark, and like Luke leaves nothing. I did not even notice.
Damn,
yeah,
yeah,
and
that makes sense.
obviously
Wow.
it makes sense.
That scene was so good.
It was so
was.
well done. I like that they were able to do that. I'm glad that I was like along for the ride there.
Man.
I'm glad that it wasn't spoiled.
And so many people are mad about that scene. So many people.
I thought it was so cool. Just seeing it, even though he wasn't like back in the fight, like there was no lightsaber clash or anything. But it was just so cool to like see him dodge and everything and just piss Kylo off.
But
Just that last line, "See you around, kid."
It was just so good. Like, yeah.
Yeah, it was very well done, in my opinion. Like I said, people can dislike the movie. I just don't think it's fair to dislike it for, fan theory reasons. But the next one that comes to mind is Rey's heritage.
Oh, yeah.
So many people are upset because Kylo said like your parents are nothing. You came from nothing, all this stuff, and people are like, oh, she should have been a Skywalker.
Like, no.
Like if she was a Skywalker, I would like that is my least favorite Rey theory.
Yeah, I would have dropped it down to like
again,
a 6.
Right. So and again, because I don't want to seem hypocritical, because I'm upset that people hate the movie because it doesn't fit their fan theories. But I think out of all the different possibilities that Rey had as parents, I think Skywalker seemed the least likely.
Yeah, definitely.
Just because, for one, we know that Luke's been off on his own for who knows how long.
Right.
And then also, he grew up not knowing his parents, and like growing up on this like junk world, like this trash world, on Tatooine. So he knows what that's like. So I don't think he would have done that to his daughter. So to me, it didn't make much sense. So I feel like it would have been a cop-out to just make her a Skywalker. So I'm kind of glad that she's a no one. Like to me, I think that's the only thing that makes sense.
Right, it's like what Skywalkers have had 6 movies. Give someone else a chance.
Yeah, I mean they've always kind of talked that it's like the Skywalker Saga, which is kind of interesting because I guess. Ben Solo has that Skywalker blood, so I guess it's still technically the Skywalker Saga. But we'll see how 9 turns out. It does feel weird, like as with this being the middle movie of the saga, it definitely felt more like a finale. Like I felt like if they didn't continue, like if you would have told me that this was episode 9 and there's nothing after it, I would have been like, okay, like there's definitely like some open ends there, but the way that the movie ended, I was like, okay, like I could see that being like the finale. Like the resistance is not dead, First Order's still out there, but they got away from the First Order, so I don't know, it just didn't feel much like a middle movie because we have no idea of the direction now.
Wait. What did you just say?
So we have no idea of the direction that 9's going in?
No, we completely have direction of what 9's going in. That was that was the argument everyone says. We don't know what the direction. There's a clear path of the direction. Kylo, the Resistance is going to go after the First Order.
Yeah.
That's the direction.
All 10 of them.
So Okay, I think we're saying the same thing, just in different ways.
Okay, because from what it sounded like you were saying we don't know where it's going to go, which is a complaint people are saying. And I'm like the opposite. I'm like, Kylo is going to try to kill the Resistance, and the Resistance is going to try to stop him. Like that's where we're going.
Sure. So for me, because I guess to me that like that's obvious. Like we know that it's First Order versus Resistance. I guess when I said we don't know what the direction is, like we don't know how that's going to go down.
Right. That much like, I agree.
Because there's always been like I don't know. There's always been like this buildup. Like in the original trilogies, you had the Death Star. Like there's always some like big climax, and I don't know where this one ends, and it really excites me.
Right,
like I'm so excited to see this.
They got rid of Starkiller base in the last Force Awakens. That's gone. The big Juggernaut is gone, or one of them is gone.
One of them.
The Supremacy.
Yeah.
Did they took that down, right? When when Haldo basically tore that thing apart.
Yeah, she jumped into hyperspace.
That fucking scene.
And tore through all those ships. Yeah, that was amazing.
That fucking scene was awesome.
That was probably that was the most jaw-dropping part in the movie for me. Besides Luke. I
would say cinematically it was probably like the most well done. Just because, so she turns it around, she goes to light speed and goes right through this ship, right?
Mm-hmm. And multiple ships.
Right. So you just see like, or you don't see, you hear it just go like fade to nothing. There's no audio, and there's just like this really stark contrast of like blacks and whites. Mm-hmm. Like it was just so well done. Like it gave me chills. Mm-hmm. No one made a single noise in the theater. It was fucking awesome. We went through the movie like not liking Haldo at all until that scene. I'm like, she's a fucking hero. She's awesome. I love her.
She did well at her part. Like she 100% did so well at just doing what Leia told her to do. She just did so well. Like shit. You talk about
who knows, dude? She may have survived that. We didn't see the ship.
It's true.
Afterwards,
maybe she has Force connections and flew to the ship. But that's a whole other thing.
We didn't see that ship explode.
I guess
we just saw it hyper jump through all of the ships, and that was it.
So I just want to hit on something real quick because I know we're trying to move past it because I have a little something I want to say about Rey and her heritage. So first of all, Kylo just said that to her. Kylo doesn't know.
Sure. No, absolutely.
I mean? She could still very well have, some type of bloodline that's important from the series, right? And I'm kind of with Trevor. Like, it doesn't bother me either way. If she does, awesome. If not, whatever. That doesn't bother me. I would like to see her become someone become out of nothing, because Anakin, where did Anakin come from? Right? And I don't know that. So if there's a story there, I'm sorry. I don't know. But
he was born of the Force, man.
But that's my point, right? Like he was a unique kid, right. And he came upon his own, and I'd like to see that same kind of thing happen to Rey. If it doesn't, I'm not going to be honest with you. It's not going to ruin my movie experience. Let me tell you, that's not important to me. But I thought that whole thing, and with Kylo getting in her head, and the whole communication between those two, that whole movie was amazing. I thought that was
absolutely
fantastic.
The Force bond,
right?
Yeah, that shit was so cool because it was so mysterious at first. Like you're just like, wait, like what's going on? Like because at first they didn't talk. You just kind of like saw these scenes go back and forth, and then eventually I think Rey said something first, and then they had their first conversation, and it's raining where Rey's at, and then like you see his like Kylo's glove is all wet. You're like, what the fuck is happening?
Right.
Like, this shit is crazy.
What I thought was awesome during that whole set is how Kylo's actually the calm one. Kylo is trying to just figure out and talk to Rey, as to where Rey was screaming angrily constantly at him until she finally didn't. But like I loved how Kylo was just calm and collective and just like talking to her. Like because usually it's always the opposite when you have an antagonist and protagonist like that, right? Usually it's the antagonist always just super angry, blah 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 blah. So it was nice to just see that, like, and to me that just, I mean, yes, Kylo's an angry person, right? And honestly, after seeing that movie, I kind of don't blame him to an extent. But like it shows a whole other side of him that is very calm and collective and very intelligent. Like a person who will try to figure out what's going on versus just getting angrily and throwing things at it until his anger gets the best of him.
I mean, he's definitely grown into a very interesting villain for sure. Like a lot more from just the angry crybaby that they kind of let him up to be in The Force Awakens. Like this definitely added more to him. Like we kind of see why he's kind of pissed at everyone.
Right.
You know, to him, his parents gave him away to this murderer. Like, you know, like who knows how long he went without seeing his parents, right?
Right.
Like they let him go off with Luke to train in the ways of the Force. That could have been 5 years, 10 years, who fucking knows?
Right.
So he probably feels abandoned by his parents, and then he feels betrayed by, probably his uncle, who's this father figure to him probably while he's training.
Mm-hmm.
And then to be betrayed by both parties, like you must feel pretty fucking alone. So you're probably pretty open when someone comes and says, "Hey, I'm here for you. I'll help you get revenge on, the people that have wronged you. You won't be alone anymore." Shit like that.
Right. Well, and that's like so. In looking at the part where with him and Luke, right? Because you got to see it 3 different times. You've seen that scene 3 different times.
Yeah.
Where the first scene is just Luke telling you that Kylo just went crazy and tried to kill him and blah blah blah.
You saw the darkness,
right? And then the second scene was Kylo's side of it, where he basically woke up to his uncle just about to murder him.
Yeah.
Like, and at that point, the only person you have left in your life that you thought you could trust, you wake up, you just and that's your first sight. Yeah, I can't blame the guy for having. Like, I mean, the darkness, the evil, the dark side is easily tempting to begin with by itself, right? And you saw that with Rey. Like, you saw that very, very
she was
much
drawn
with
to
Rey.
it immediately,
right? And he, got betrayed by everybody that he knew. I mean, you can completely see why he did what he did.
right?
And you could sit there and be like, well, I wouldn't take. No, you don't. You clearly don't understand like how tempting that side is. That's an easy push over the edge. It was. There was a lot of story there that I feel like people who didn't care for just didn't see, didn't care to see. They wanted to see lightsaber fights. They didn't look into this.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm just here for the action.
Oh man, and yeah, it disappoints me when people go into a Star Wars movie and that's their complaint, is there wasn't enough lightsaber fights.
Sure. And I don't know. If we, there's definitely a lot of complaints against it here, and I can see how some people would be bothered by them, but I don't think it's movie ruining like some people are making it out to be.
It's not at all. People are just being little crybabies. They always gotta find something to complain about.
Right, and especially like when it comes to this, like people complain about, oh, Leia's scene was so cheesy, and that just ruined the whole Last Jedi movie for me.
Hell no, I thought that shit was awesome.
Okay, so I was the first to say that I was not a fan of that scene, right?
I thought it was hilarious.
I was just like, okay, this is ridiculous. But did I let that ruin my movie experience? No, not at
know.
all. It makes sense.
Right.
Like, it makes sense as to why. I mean, it's kind of funny that the only time we ever see her use her force is there.
Right, when she's about to die.
Right, but it was really goofy watching her fly to the ship. Okay, I'm just gonna say it was goofy as shit. It really was.
I'll say I like the scene, but at the same time, it was really goofy.
I think the way it was done just seemed kind of like they had the music going. It was the lighting they had in space. It was very very over the top, very whimsical. So I can see why people find it cheesy. It was not my favorite scene of the movie, but it was cool to see her be force sensitive.
Right.
And as far as, I don't know, I guess to maybe try and explain why we haven't seen it, maybe it's one of those like one of those adrenaline rushes. Like they always say, you almost get hit by a car or something, or you can lift however much times your weight when you're
knew she had it. She knew for sure.
I'm not saying she didn't know she had it. I'm saying maybe it's one of those things she's not as sensitive as Luke is, so maybe she didn't have access to that much, potential until her life was in danger.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I feel like she knew what she was doing there. Especially to direct herself back to the ship. I think she knew.
Well, we don't really have any indication since there's a 30-year gap there.
So, one other part of the movie that a lot of people are upset. I think this is the last big one. After this, I don't think there's a whole lot of things. It is Snoke.
Yeah, that's my one complaint.
So a lot of people, and Trey, you feel free to tell me if this is kind of how you feel. A lot of people wanted to get a lot more detail about Snoke, especially in this movie, and to just see him drop like he was like that was. A lot of people were just like, "Well, that was very, what's the word? Anticlimactic." Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like the people were very just like, "Oh, okay." So Trey, someone who clearly wasn't a fan, what's your thought on that?
That is my exact thought exactly. It was so anticlimactic for them to be like, oh, like, I see it in you, you get rid of the evil or whatever, and then the part
Your
when...
one true enemy.
Yeah, your one true enemy, and it's Kylo who kills Snoke. I'm like... I mean, I get the whole, like, Vader killed Sidious, that whole thing, but at the same time, it's like, who was Snoke? What did he do? Like, what's his background? I need to know more about this guy. How is he so powerful?
Okay.
Just where did he come from? That was my main thing. Like, him dying, I'm like, okay, I get it. The comparisons to Anakin and Sidious, but at the same time, it's like, who was he? Where did he come from?
Right. Okay. So here's...
It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, go ahead, Trevor. Trevor, you go ahead.
I was just gonna say, so if we just think about the original trilogy by itself, we went into it with the Emperor and didn't have any backstory whatsoever. He was just the bad guy. He had that mystery about him. Nobody knew, where he came from or how he got his power or how he was put in power. No one knew anything like that until we had the original trilogies to tell us. So I feel like it's the exact same way. Like he just served the purpose as the bad guy. Like he's leading the First Order, and I guess me personally, like, yeah, it'd be sweet to maybe have like a novel or something come out down the road, or maybe if they continue with these animated series. I mean, it'd be cool to definitely get some more backstory on him. I'm not saying that I don't want to learn more about him by any means. I'm definitely interested to see like how he took Ben Solo and how he corrupted him. Right. But for me, I don't think it. For one, I don't think it would have added anything to the movie really. Like if I learned more about Snoke, I don't think it would have made The Last Jedi or even this full trilogy any better or worse.
So okay, and I agree with that. Here's my take on that whole scene, because I've had time to process this, and I'm sure there's parts of this you guys have already figured out. I don't know, maybe you figured out the whole thing. I don't know. So clearly, Snoke was brought up to be this like ultimate badass, right? Since 7, like we're all thinking, wow, who's this guy? This guy has Kylo on his freaking hand and blah 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 blah, right?
Right.
Yep.
And Kylo is one of the few Force users left, right? Like there's very 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 little of them left, and Kylo is one of those guys who has great potential, which is why Snoke has
that they know of.
Right. Which is why Snoke took him under his wing, because he saw the darkness and all this stuff, right? So a scene comes and he kills Snoke. I had no problems with that personally, because again, did not see that coming. That threw me. I was like, holy shit! They just did that. Didn't care, right? Because his one true enemy is the only person standing in his way. Who's the person he sees standing in his way? Snoke. Why? Because Snoke is the leader of oh my god, what's the group? What the heck is
First Order?
The First Order, right? That's where Kylo wants to be. Kylo wants to be the Supreme Commander, and he, in an instant, done. Mine. I am the Supreme Commando. Don't need an epic fight. I'm going to outsmart you and call it a day. And that's what he did. And then you had the fight with Kylo and Rey with the things. It was great because Kylo, Rey helped Kylo, thinking that Kylo was coming to her side. But the whole time, Kylo was just trying to get her to go to his side, just because he's just telling her, like, look, it's me and you we can rule this world. Nobody will stand in between us. We can do this. We deserve to do this, because the darkness has already consumed him. That's where he wants to be. And he knows if he can get her on his side, that's it. GG, game over. Mm-hmm. Right?
Well,
and that's the whole point of what was happening.
It was also poetic in a way too, because you tell from the first interaction with Snoke and Kylo in this movie that Snoke like does not give a shit about him.
Right.
Like definitely like talking trash to him. He thinks he's garbage, whatever, and he basically Kylo just like takes it, whatever.
Right.
Like he's pissed. He smashes his helmet, all that stuff. So that's I thought that was the coolest part, is that Snoke is that overconfident, just like the Emperor was, that he like there's no way that Kylo would turn on him.
Right.
Like he's just so determined that like, yep, Kylo's my bitch. He's gonna do whatever I say, and he's gonna kill his one true enemy without ever thinking that it's actually him.
And it was done in a flash. He didn't deserve like Kylo. He didn't deserve the justification of an epic fight because he just didn't need to.
He got the Darth Maul death wish.
Right. Like he played
cut in half and
Kylo played his cards smart. Because Kylo is a smart person. In the end, I believe Kylo is a very intelligent person. He has quite anger issues. I 100% agree with that. He,
sure.
and think about like us. Like if I get angry, I make stupid decisions too. I yell, I shout, I don't think, right? But I think when he has a stable head, he is a very intelligent person, which is why he took that. And it was great because during that fight, I guarantee all three of us were thinking, "Oh man, Kylo's gonna be a good guy now." Blah 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 blah. Oh yeah, it's gonna be great. And he wasn't. He was just the same guy, but now he's the supreme commander. And I'm just like, I'm 100% okay with that, because you get that cheesy moment of, oh, they're going to be great, and it's not. Again, once again, they completely just twist it on you. I didn't see that coming. It was just, I liked it. I need to stop, but I liked it. I liked the whole element of it. It was different. No one saw it coming. Now, I think with a whole other movie, we're going to learn more about Snoke. I'm sure they're going to dive deeper into it with, Kylo's upbringing and stuff like that, and how he found Snoke. And I believe that is something we will see. If not, we'll get to that at that point. But I don't think Snoke's story is 100% done there. He's just not part of the main picture anymore.
I just wouldn't want them to be like, okay, here's a comic book about him, and that's it.
Right.
That's the one thing that I'm worried about. It's like Snoke seemed like he's got some power there, obviously, to bring the Empire basically back from nothing.
Right.
And then to have an apprentice, to having everything else, and then just for him to die in his seat was kind of lame. To me, anyways.
Yeah.
But I get the whole storyline of why, but I'm not going to repeat myself for the third time.
I get it.
I don't know. I just wish there was a little more purpose to him instead of using him as an anger tool for Kylo.
Which is what it was. Like, that's 100%. Yeah. He was definitely... he pushed Kylo to do what happened to begin with. Like, he was his own downfall.
Right.
That's the way of the Sith, really.
So okay. So what about this? First of all...
What about porgs?
Well, okay. Yeah, okay. Let's hit up on porgs. Let's get on a lighter subject here. Something simple. Porgs. Talk about porgs.
I fucking loved porgs.
Porgs were cool.
That's it. I fucking loved porgs.
They weren't overused by any means. They were great in the scenes that they were in, and it was fantastic.
Yeah, they definitely weren't overused by any means, which I have to say I was a little worried about. I thought it was going to be like kind of over the top, too in your face. But man, the scenes they were in were so good. The one with fucking Chewie, it's like one of the first ones. Like they're kind of like the focus of, because you see him in the background on the island and stuff.
Right.
But man, Chewie's about to like just eat like a fucking grilled porg, and all these other porgs are just like staring right at him.
Puppy eyeing him.
Right. Yeah, that very last one that's like giving him like the quiver lip and everything. Like, oh man, I loved them. I think they're sweet.
Did you think Chewie ate it? We never saw him eat it. Do you think he ate it?
No, he definitely did not. He loves the porgs, even if he hates them.
That was great. The ship, when they were on the ship and they were like messing with the stuff.
He's he's like pushing them aside and stuff. Yeah.
Got that. The Millennium Falcon is now the Millennium Porg, because that thing is like. That thing is infested with porgs. You saw that when they walked into it.
Nest and shit in there.
Yeah, it like started nesting in there already. I was like, damn, come on now.
That was awesome. That was good porgs.
How do you guys?
Go ahead.
How do you guys feel about the Yoda scene?
Yes, what I was gonna say. And it was puppet Yoda.
Yeah, and it was funny Yoda.
Yes.
I think I would be happy with any Yoda, to be honest. I love
Yeah.
Yoda in general. So
Like it's I always thought it was so interesting to see the difference in Yoda from prequels to original trilogy. Just because prequels he's very wise and very like he still has like those funny quips and everything, but
He's
he's
a
a
little more
completely
serious.
different person in the original trilogy. Very goofy. And I was glad to see that back.
I just
And it was
yeah.
I thought it was kind of interesting that because we've seen Force Ghosts before, but we've never seen them actually like interact with the real world.
yeah,
Because he like legit hits Luke in the head
He does.
as a Force Ghost. So I mean that definitely leaves because Luke's coming back as a Force Ghost. Like
At least we think he hit him in the head. Like he could have made Luke think that he hit him in the head.
okay, yeah, but okay, even without that, even if we dismiss that, he still brought lightning down on a fucking tree.
He did.
right.
Like that, like that happened.
Unless Luke saw that in his mind. I'm
Oh
sorry.
my gosh, Tim, you are ridiculous.
And us as the viewers were inside of Luke's mind. I get it. I see what you're
Correct.
saying.
Right. It was all a dream.
It was. I think the best part of that was basically that whole scene to me represented that because Luke went to this island where the Force basically originated, right? Or maybe not originated, but
It was
like,
the
there's
first Jedi temple.
right. It was right.
Something
and it was
like
this
that.
sacred. There's these texts, and Yoda's like, "Did you read the text?" Well,
Yeah, I mean, a couple excerpts, you know.
They
He's
were
like page
there.
page turners. They were not.
right. And like Luke's like
Page
so
turners, they were
pissed
not.
at Rey and everything that's happening that he's
Yeah.
gonna set fire to this tree and burn it down so it's just
Yeah.
done, it's over. And Yoda's just like, okay, boom, blows up.
Right.
Tree doesn't mean shit. The island doesn't mean shit. That's not what the Force is about.
Right.
And that was the whole like to me that's what that whole scene represented was you can't just stop the Force because you burned down a damn tree.
Right.
That's it's
That doesn't do anything.
it's more than that. The Force is it's a force. Like it's yeah.
It's in everything.
Well,
Burning down a symbol doesn't take it away.
right.
right.
The light side is still out there, along with the dark to meet it,
Right.
or however they said it in the movie. So yeah, that scene was good. Yoda looked good, and he sounded good, and he was funny.
He did. The only
it.
real scene in the movie that I felt like, I mean, it's not that I could have gone without it. Okay, I don't want to say that. Like there were important parts to it, but Finn and Rose.
Rose,
is that
yeah.
right? Like
Yeah.
their like little their like little trip. I felt was just that. It wasn't bad. I'm not
Sure.
gonna say it was.
No,
bad.
I liked it.
Like
that was one of my favorite parts. I
was
think
their little thing.
the little powwow through the casino. Yeah, that was great.
Like
It was
'cause
definitely fun.
it was a fun scene. I actually was a fan of the hacker, the master hacker. Is that what his name
Oh
was?
yeah,
Benicio del Toro's character.
All right, like Del Toro's. I liked
DJ.
that a lot. I liked his role a lot because everything that he did made sense. Even I mean, the guy doesn't know you guys well. You pay him a little bit here and there. He does what you want. You get caught. He's gonna make a deal if he can make a deal. Like it sucks. It's
Right.
like why would you betray us? But
It's business.
it's a business. That's what he does. That's why he's alive still. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Finn's fight with
Phasma.
yes,
Oh, that was lackluster.
that
Oh,
was
that made me
lackluster.
mad.
I will give that. Lackluster.
So yeah, that I'm 100% with you. Ever since Force Awakens, Phasma has been an underused character. Like such a unique appearance. Like she looks so cool. She definitely stands out from all the other troopers, obviously.
Chrome Dome. Yep.
So why would you waste that?
right.
Like the only thing that happened in the first one is she got captured, and then in this one she just dies,
Right.
like with barely a fight.
Right, and that's
Like
the
it-
problem. Like
Yeah.
it was barely a fight. Like Finn got a good hit on her, and it was great. But
Yeah,
the
yeah.
trailers made it out to be there was going to be an epic fight. Right.
Yeah.
That was the thing.
Oh,
The
for
trailers
sure.
made
Well,
it
that's
to be
trailers,
out way
man.
more.
Trailers will
Right.
always do that.
And I get that, but that main scene, like that whole main thing, is one of the reasons like it's not a 10 out of 10 for me because I would have rather have seen Finn get more justice than what he got.
For sure. And one of the complaints about Rose and Finn in general, because this one I can understand. I think we all enjoyed their scenes, like their whole side story.
Mm-hmm.
But also, if you take that away from Last Jedi, does it change anything?
Exactly.
So that's
right.
that complaint I can understand because it doesn't change the outcome of the movie really. You know, like
Right.
they didn't really accomplish anything. Now, it does kind of lead me to one of the things that I did really like about it is that all these characters try and do stuff and they fail. Like there's so much failure in this movie.
Yeah.
It makes it.
I like that.
I don't know. It makes
it
real.
real.
I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally
Like
makes
it's
it
not
real.
just like a fantasy where like the hero always wins. Like
Right.
no Trey or not Trey. Ray went to this island
Thank
to
you.
get trained
Thank you.
trained by Luke, and she fails.
Right.
Luke, tries to train Kylo, and he fails. They tried to shut down the thing on the ship, the
Right.
shield thing, so
The
they can
shield
slip in. They
generator.
fail.
Yeah,
Like everybody fails, and it's
Right.
awesome because
They-
you're constantly on the edge of your seat.
And they try to escape to this planet, and a lot of their escape pods get blown up.
For sure.
You know,
like there's
yeah.
it's not just like a happy ending. Like there's a lot of loss in this, and it definitely kept us on our feet.
There's only one scene or only one thing out of that whole Finn and Rose thing
Mm-hmm.
that was important to me, at least, and I'm sure
Okay.
we will see of importance
Oh,
in the next
gosh.
episode.
Okay.
And I think that's the kids, at least the one
Oh.
child at the end,
For
Yeah.
sure.
because he
I mean,
clearly
that's-
has a connection to the Force.
Definitely.
So
I will say one more thing about the whole Rose and Finn thing. When she saves him
Mm-hmm.
from the mini Death Star cannon, I cringed so hard when she was like, "You save the ones you love." I'm like, "You haven't even known this guy a full day and you love him
Right.
already?"
Right.
No, dude.
Right. I
No
agree.
way. That felt so rushed.
And
me,
I don't
and I
think
was just
Finn
like,
felt the same way.
No. I don't
He
know. I don't
clearly
think so
didn't
either.
Kiss back at all. Like he was just like, oh, okay.
I think he has a
I
thing
don't
for.
know, man.
I think it's a thing for Ray.
Yeah,
That's just
for sure. Oh, 100%. I'm like, and I'm pretty sure Ray has a thing for him. Like that is 100% something I think is gonna happen. I hope happens at least.
Yeah.
There.
Like when she said that line, I cringed in my seat. I don't know if you saw me, Tim, but I was like, ugh, what? Like you guys went through a casino thing. I understand that, and you guys just try to do a 5-man death flight into this thing. Yeah, I get that, but still, I was like, no.
Right.
You save the ones you love. Ugh.
I really want to
Ugh.
watch this movie again.
I need to see it again too, but it's that's added into my 8 out of 10. But
Yeah.
let's continue.
I'm trying to think of anything else I have to point because the whole Rose and Finn thing was the only thing that really bothered me throughout the whole movie.
Yeah,
It
Oh, yeah,
was
I heard-
slow a couple times, but
I heard they use the casino thing, like I can't remember the name of those, like quadruped things that they're riding on.
oh yeah.
I heard they use those as like a way to like sell toys. Like they needed one more cute thing in the movie just to sell.
I'm sure it worked.
Yeah.
Did you guys see today that they actually mentioned the hyperspace tracking in Rogue One? So when they're being tracked at the beginning of Last Jedi, and they mentioned that it's impossible to be tracked
shit. Yeah.
through.
So I didn't catch that
Um,
until just now.
So yeah, they mentioned hyperspace tracking in Rogue One when she's going through the archives.
Did not think about that.
Interesting. Man, I want to go back and watch
Pretty
that now
cool.
too.
That's on Netflix, I think. I think Rogue One's on Netflix.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, that was pretty cool.
That is
Nice.
yeah. See, that's the thing. Like the little pieces right there to just
Yeah.
that's so good.
So you mentioned the force sensitive kids and
Kid. Just
kid.
one.
So it's always been my understanding that kids don't have to come from force sensitive families. Like kids can just be force sensitive.
Right.
The Force is
Like,
in
that's-
everyone.
Right.
Right. So that's like like you see it in the Clone Wars and stuff, to where like the Jedi, they basically like kind of like what happened with Anakin. Like they just kind of go around and like, hey, this kid's force sensitive.
Right.
Let's take him to the temple and train him.
It's
And hopefully they'll become
basically
evil.
like Halsey from Halo going around and being like, this kid's pretty cool. Let's snag him. Let's snag
Right.
him up. He's gonna become
So
Master Chief.
To
Right.
me, it just doesn't. I don't know. It's not that. I don't know. Like when we were talking about Rey and how she wouldn't have like any special parents, like it's not that surprising, I guess.
Oh yeah, no, not at all.
And it shouldn't be.
No, like it's not like, oh, it's another person that's force sensitive, but she doesn't have force sensitive parents. And maybe I'm wrong. Like I'm I love Star Wars, but I'm not claiming to be some sort of like super Wikipedia person that knows everything.
Right.
Right. No, you're absolutely
but
right.
that's
I mean,
always-
that's what Anakin
always-
was.
Yeah, I mean that's always been my understanding. Like they like especially in the prequels, like they just went around and got force sensitive kids to train them into Jedi. Like that's where all the younglings were.
Like, and that's the other thing. Like, let Rey be her own person.
Yeah.
Like, let her be
Right.
her. Don't. Why does she have to be a Skywalker for you to like the movie? Why can't she just
Right.
be Rey? Like that stuff just drives me nuts. Like, it just there's no need for it. This other kid that's force sensitive, are you gonna be mad if that's not Luke's child? Kind of look like
Right.
Anakin a little bit. So you're gonna be mad if it's not Anakin's child, like Anakin's freaking.
So we've got a
uh,
few things at the end there with Rey. So we know she took the Jedi books.
Yes, she did.
Yes.
Which is
And then
awesome.
she
Which
also-
is awesome.
Oh, for sure. And she also has both parts of Luke Skywalker's lightsaber. the blue one.
Lightsaber. Yep.
So I'm very interested to see what she does with that. Not sure because I've heard people, or I've heard some people say that they want like a time jump between 8 and 9, to like kind of build up the like the Resistance or the First Order again, and then maybe by then like who knows what could have
Oh
happened.
yeah. I was gonna say something else.
Good.
But I'm interested to see if Rey like rebuilds the lightsaber or if she kind of uses parts from that to create her own, maybe getting a like a different color in there, and what she does with the books. Like sounds like she's gonna pretty much teach herself at this point. Like there's no one else to teach her.
Luke
So
will
maybe
still
we'll
be
get
there.
maybe we'll get some Force Ghosts to come back and help her and get her powers.
What
back
if we
and
get
stuff.
a Harry Potter moment where at the end of 9, Rey's having an issue, like they're fighting, and beside her, oh, there's Luke, oh, there's Yoda, and there's Obi-Wan, and there's Qui-Gon, and they're all there helping her, like I'm just being
Like the family
stupid now.
Kamehameha?
Yeah, like the family Kamehameha. Yeah, same concept. Like what if that's what we get at the end? Like all the Force Ghosts come in to help. I'm sorry.
I hope not.
Me too.
I hope
I
it's not what.
Dude, what if that's what happens? What if that's exactly what happens?
You heard it first here.
That's right.
Fam exclusive.
What did you want to say, Trey?
Oh, I was gonna say the part where like the Resistance, like when they were like kind of reach out to people, it didn't bother me as much, but I was like, oh, like that sucks. Like no one came to help them out.
Right. Like
was
everyone's
like, damn.
scared.
Like that kind of sucked. It sucks for them. Like it didn't suck for the movie, but it's just kind of like I was hoping like the last second would be like, ships flying in to help them out, but it didn't. And that was kind of cool. It was like another thing, one of those failures you're talking about, Trevor.
It's kind of nice to see that spark of hope.
Oh, yeah.
Because they wear the Resistance ring at the end.
Yeah, and that's the cool part is like so the kid's wearing the resistant ring, right? Resistant
Yeah.
ring.
Right.
Wally has like and the best part about it is the Force was so subtle. Like you had to catch it
Yeah.
when he got that broom.
Yeah,
Like,
I
you-
talked to my
like,
friend and he didn't even notice it.
Yeah,
I was
you
like,
had
damn.
to catch that. And I'm pretty sure we all caught it at the same moment. We're just like,
yeah.
like you had to catch it because it was just literally just him grabbing a broom without grabbing the broom. That's all
Yeah.
it was, and it was just so subtle. But when you catch it, you're just like, oh shit! Because that's the thing.
Yeah.
That's like with the time jump that you're talking about. If you do a time jump, I mean, that little kid could be something at that point, right?
Yeah,
So
for sure.
it would be very interesting. And I wouldn't mind a time jump. I mean, I don't want a 20-year time jump.
Right.
You
Of
know.
course not. I wouldn't want
Well,
that.
with the cast that we have, I would think that'd be pretty hard to do.
Right. So I mean, 5 years, whatever, cool, great, grand, wonderful. But they better. I want to see the details. I want to see the
Yeah.
details. And we have to wait so long. Oh,
Only 5 months until Han Solo, though.
I know.
Oh damn. Yeah. Fuck. Nice. I'm okay with that.
And still no trailer.
And 6 months until Infinity War. But that's a whole separate thing.
Oh yeah. Yeah. We'll talk about that for sure. Get Melee in here
Yeah, please do.
so I can rip him to shreds.
God, that guy. But I mean,
Man,
yeah, Star Wars.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much all I have on it. I think we covered every complaint against it and everything else that we loved in between.
Yep.
So I think that's
Yes.
pretty much all I've got to cover on it.
I loved it. I'm sticking with my solid 9 out of 10 for it for sure.
We
Like,
got a new
absolutely loved it.
we got a new stormtrooper in there, The Executioner Trooper. That was kind of cool.
Oh yeah.
I didn't see any other ones back there, but I may have to watch it again to see. But that was neat. I always like seeing new stormtroopers.
It's always fun.
For sure. And with that, hopefully you guys have seen it by now, especially if you're listening to this, because if not,
Let's hope.
kind of don't have to anymore. We just spoiled everything.
Yeah, we
But
just told you
definitely, right. hopefully you guys enjoyed Last Jedi like we did. If not, let us know what you didn't like in the comments. Let us know what you did like. Tell us how wrong we are. We'd love to hear your feedback on it.
Please do.
But in the meantime, we're kind of getting right up on the holidays here, so there might be a little bit of a delay in our podcast since we've got Christmas and New Year's coming up. But we'll be coming back strong in 2018 if you don't hear from us in the next week or so.
Oh yeah.
But as always, appreciate you guys tuning in. Check us out on YouTube, SoundCloud, Google Play, iTunes. What am I missing here?
Twitch.
Oh, and Twitch. Yeah, Tim.
Twitch.
Tim streams. Twitch streams. Or Tim.
Twitch streams Tim.
Yeah, Twitch streams Tim Monday through Thursday, and then Trey's covering our weekends right now.
I'm
Friday
on
and
Fam
Saturday.
Fridays, so we all play together, and then Saturday's my solo day.
Absolutely.
And
Jeez,
I
we
may
got a
pick
lot-
up on Sunday. Who knows? We'll see.
For sure. We've got a lot of good things coming your way in 2018, so definitely make sure you subscribe to us, stay posted on all of our new content, and as always, we'll see you next time.
Thanks, guys.
2018, you're the fam. Let's do this, boys.